Hey Geeta, hi. So guys, we are back again on another live. This is our episode 3 from My Local Will Go Global. Today we have a very interesting story about someone who was in a lockdown and kind of how she explored the local place. So let's hear from her. She has a lot of exciting stories to tell us. So we will wait for her to join us, and we'll wait for a lot of you also to join us. And let's hear it out from her. So we are taking a very interesting place from Andhra, which is Vijayawada, and there is lots to share. There's lots what Manjulika want to share about it. So let's hear it from her. Also, tell us how are you liking our new series, My Local Will Go Global. Is there any particular destination you would want to know more about? Please DM us, please comment, and ask questions if at all you have any questions about anything, about any place. We would love to answer them. So we'll wait for Manjulika to join, and yeah. Hey Prachi, hi. Hey Zakira, hi. Hey Shweta, hi. Hi Krishma. We are waiting for our guest today. That's Manjulika. Hey Divya, hi. We're super excited for this one because it's a very interesting series. It's a different kind of a life because this person was stuck in a lockdown, and how this place became like a local for her. Let's hear it from her. Hey Nisha, hi. So are you guys prepping up for the Unlock 1? How are you finding it? I kind of have a little mixed feeling about the Unlock 1 now. Today being the World Environment Day, you just start feeling that, oh my god, the nature is also now going to kind of get abused again or polluted again. We will have to wait and watch how we humans will kind of treat the environment after such a long break. So really looking forward also, and kind of want to hold on and just want to relax in this peaceful time. Hey Rupa, hi. Also, would love to hear from you guys that what is that one change you would bring in your life with the environment. Is there something what you're going to make a change to? We would love to know that. We would love to kind of also get um, some inspiration. So if at all you have something in mind, DM us, comment here. It would be great to kind of know. So we have Manjulika here, and we are looking forward to just have you here, Manjulika. We're waiting for Manjulika to join. Manjulika, I hope you are able to join us. Hey Monisha, hi. We will have to. Okay, we have.
Hey,
Hi.
how are you?
Hi. Good. How are you? Good. How are you?
All well, all well.
The weather behind
The
is
weather behind
amazing. The view
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah, so see this, see the sunset. I mean, the
Wow.
colors are beautiful. And those hills that you can see, I'm sure you can see.
Yes.
So they
Yes.
are basically so they are basically Eastern Ghats.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you have them here. Like this is the landscape here. It's like you have hills on the whole periphery, and then obviously there is Krishna River here.
Okay. And looks
Okay,
like
and looks like
it's just that I think my
it's
voice is
just that I think my voice.
um
Yeah, you're.
I can echo. I can hear the
Oh,
echo.
I can hear the echo. You can hear the echo.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it fine? Or do you want me to wear headphones?
Yeah. I think that would be better.
Yeah, I
Now,
think that would be better.
yeah. I can still
Okay.
hear.
It's still here. Okay. Is it good now?
Yes. Yes. It's perfectly fine now.
Yeah, I can feel that. Yeah, the
Yeah.
difference is
It's
there.
just that I could just hear my voice in the background.
Okay.
So the weather seems to be very good, and I think it looks like it's going to rain.
Hopefully, it usually gets breezy every evening. Like,
Oh, okay.
and Hyderabad is just 4 hours away, and Hyderabad has already been, like, it's been raining. And then
Yes.
Vizag is not very close, but still, Vizag is also close by. So, I think they received their rains yesterday.
Okay.
So, yeah, we are expecting Vijayawada also to get some rain soon. But it
Wow.
gets, the weather is like this every day in the evening.
Oh, that's really nice. It looked only so dreamy and very, very
Yeah,
good.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, the sun. I almost every day, like since I've been in the lockdown, So that's the only thing that you can do. So we ensure to go and see the sunset, because the colors, it turns all
Yes.
orangish around those Eastern Ghats. So it's nice.
Yes, yes. Actually, yesterday Bombay also saw some different kind of a sunset, which we've never seen it here. So 2 days the weather was really beautiful. While of course there was a cyclone threat. But yeah,
Cyclone threat actually.
yeah. But I think people really enjoyed the weather yesterday. It's nice and pleasant weather now. So I guess we are gonna get back to heat again. Looks like.
I know, I think every fury is fine, but I just want to get over with COVID.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So
Maharashtra is actually facing a lot, so you guys need to take care.
absolutely, yeah. So cases are also increasing. We are just praying now that we just kind of see a respite from cyclones, we see respite from corona, and just have a
Hmm.
little breather time. But yeah, I think there is a lot what we've learned in this lockdown as well. Right, so I'm sure there are a lot of lessons.
So many life lessons actually.
Actually, absolutely. So that's what I was just saying before you joined, that while there is an unlock one now, which has started, but I don't know, I have a mixed feeling whether to go back to the abnormal life. So what is normal, whether this or that? So yeah, there is a mixed feeling, but I hope to get some change in my life, especially with the environment. So that's a pledge which I have taken.
Yeah, I think that's very important for today, and especially it's not about one day. We just need to keep reminding
Yes,
ourselves that
yes,
it's for
absolutely.
every day.
Yeah.
And this whole pandemic has been actually a big reminder in a way that there's been a lot of things that you've messed up a lot with nature. Now it's like time to improve.
True,
Make,
absolutely.
yeah, it's time to make amends basically now that
Yes,
we live
yes,
properly.
absolutely. So, Manjulika, we are super excited to have you. So, thank you for joining with us. So the excitement, what I really have to kind of know from you is that you are from originally from Faridabad. You are here
Yeah.
in Vijayawada, and that's like your local story with us. So, we really want to
Mhm.
know. How is this a local for you, and what have you in store for us from Vijayawada? So,
Okay, then. So, basically, yeah. So, like you said, I belong from UP and have lived for 20 years in Delhi.
okay,
Married in Faridabad, so obviously now Faridabad seems to be home. So it was like for the last 1 year, my husband had a project here in
okay,
Andhra. He's doing a
okay,
project with government. So since I have a traveling job, like it's
sure,
like freelancing, and I am a travel writer, so I used to keep shuffling here and going back to my assignments,
sure,
going back home because my mother-in-law is alone there, and my parents also put up in Noida.
okay,
So it was like on and off. Like I used to come here every once a month or maybe at least an alternately a month because then my
okay,
husband used to be back there. So
sure,
it's like I've done 6, 7 visits here. But when I came here in March, like I came Feb end, yeah, the
okay,
last day of Feb. And then we were like, I just have to stay here for 10 or 12 days. So you can
sure.
imagine, I just have 10 set of clothes with me,
I'm sure.
just 10 set of clothes, and I am here in a service apartment, so that's the best part, that it's not a hotel, so we
Right.
have a kitchen here,
Okay.
and that's been very helpful because we needed to cook and all.
Yes.
But I've never stayed for 3 months at a stretch, at least not even in my house that I remember for the last 5 years.
Totally. I think it's in every traveler story. So,
Yeah.
staying in
But in a different city, it was like, initially we were like, what is this like? No, during the lockdown, everybody was talking about being home, being with their families, being with their
right,
parents. So, I mean, I couldn't even say that, I'm enjoying that. But
right,
in the other way, if you look at the other perspective, it was fine because me and my husband are into traveling jobs, so we don't get to live together.
right.
So that was a plus that we got to live here.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then, but there are little challenges, so many challenges that we keep facing. We don't get a lot of things that, the way I cook at home,
Right.
or the things that are easily available here, but I don't know what to do of them,
True,
or the
true.
little things that I have observed. So it's been a mix. Like I've learned also quite a lot,
Yeah, I'm sure. So
definitely.
I think post lockdown there are going to be a lot of master chefs happening, and a lot of people are going to be
Totally.
joining.
Totally. I used to not even, I have never cooked so much in my life the way I have cooked.
Right.
And then it's been very interesting because the service apartment there's a cook also, so it's very good because obviously I started doing my own things, but it is good to learn from him, so I got to know a lot of about Andhra things also.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
been exchange of information also,
Yes, yes. So I'm
definitely.
sure you're going
Like
to
it's
be
the
excited.
yeah, there's a mango season here going on, so mango is like for everybody, and
Right.
we've started eating mangoes like for 1 month already.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so there's a Beguna Pali. There is a this one variety, which is it's one of the geographical indication things here.
Okay. Okay.
That mango is so important for people here, and that mango is very popular. So we
Oh,
don't know what is we've not tasted the sari this year. We've only eaten this one, the Andhra mangoes.
right. That's pretty interesting. I thought mangoes were always only interesting piece, especially for Gujaratis, because they can't do without the
No.
mangoes in the mango season.
Oh no, Andhra loves their mangoes. Mango pickles. They are mad about mango pickles.
Wow.
Like there's
Sounds
so many varieties that I have got to know that only mango can do. So I don't know, but I would like to show you. See,
wow. Oh my God, that's like quite a big mango.
yeah, that's a,
Yeah.
and I think mango is a short here. That like you have to
Yeah.
have it. Like people are crazy about it. We also had so when people started eating mangoes, we also had a small festival. So
Oh,
first they offer mango to the god, whatever, like god whoever they pray for,
yeah.
and they offer mangoes to the people around them who work for them or just as an offering, and then they start eating.
Oh, okay. So I'm
So these
sure,
are little things.
yeah, so I'm sure we have a lot of exciting stories from here. But before like we kind of start, exploring more of Vijayawada, tell us something about yourself. You are an avid traveler. I'm sure you have lots to share about yourself.
So I am a telecom engineer. I have engineering thing in electronics and communication, and then I worked for Nokia, and then I worked for Ericsson. So I was in a hardcore into my industry. I used to work for radio frequency and had something to do with all the internet that you use, so 3G,
Okay.
2.5G, GPRS Edge. So it was quite and always I was quite a studious kid. But
Okay.
then yeah, the writing thing was always in me. So even in my engineering days, I used to be part of editorial boards, and I used to keep the editorial going in an engineering college also, and then I used to keep writing. So by the time I did my engineering, yeah, obviously job security was important, and I got through placement in the college itself, and everything happened. But it was just an year that it took me to realize that I am not made for corporate. I'll not be able to do, and this is not happening with me. But anyways, there was no. I mean, I had no plans that I'm going to do something like this. But
Right.
yeah, I had a friend. I had a friend in National University of Singapore, and they used to inculcate this habit of making blogs
Okay.
for the campus kids,
Okay.
campus students. So that was my way of reading about life of my friend.
Oh,
And then
oh.
one day he just simply suggested to me that why don't you make your blog, because I don't get to know anything what's happening in your life, and
Right.
you have so much to say. You've always been a writer. So that's how I made a blog very quickly, and
Okay.
the blog happened like manjulikapromote.com on my name, because it was like I have to become an author someday. So I can't have any other domain. So it was always like I need something personal. And
Right.
I got it also easily because that name was like unique. You don't get Manjulika Pramod. So I
Right.
got it very casually. So for 2, 3 years, I just kept writing, and it was my own world. I had no clue that blogging
Sure.
is a complete industry in itself. There's so
Right.
many people around. I had no clue. But then, yeah, the job continued and everything went on. But gradually, I, got to know about few contests, blogging
Okay.
contests happening,
Oh,
like
okay.
Indie Blogger and Blogada. They were two platforms. Like Indie
Sure.
Blogger, I would like to mention. They played a great role in my being a blogger because they used to. There was a whole community of bloggers. Like I met a lot of people. Even some of my friends who are watching. Like I got to meet them through the
Sure.
indie blogger platform, and that's
Yeah.
how. And then I participated in some competitions for blogging writing contest and all. So my first blogging win was actually, an international win. I was sent to,
Wow.
I won a trip, yeah, I won a trip to Malaysia.
That's brilliant.
And then, yeah, and then I won a trip to Oman. And then I won a trip to Singapore. So that happened in a period of like 1 month, and it all happened due to my writing.
Wow. I'm sure
Yeah.
it has been like one
So
of the
that was
best.
a Yeah, that was a year which changed me. And it's not that I had not traveled before because my
Right.
husband already works in a place where he has to
Sure.
travel a lot. So
Yeah.
it was like I was already chasing him in several places. But I was not writing about travel. So it was like,
Right.
how is that I'm not writing about travel when destiny is pushing me towards travel. So it
Absolutely.
was that kind. So when I mentioned to you also that Norway, like Oslo, was the place where I actually discovered. So that happened immediately after my marriage. Like
Okay.
I did 7 years. Like I've been working, and then I married, and then it was like, and I went there because he was on a project there, and every day I was on a sabbatical, and every day I used to head out like 11 in the morning until 5 in the evening. I used to just roam around,
Okay.
just walk, just walk in the city. Like I
Wow.
can tell anything about Oslo. That was the time because I knew everything on
Right.
my pen and paper. And then every day at 6 o'clock we used to meet at a particular point. So I did this for like, and that's how I realized that this is something so amazing. But then still I didn't take it very seriously. But
Right.
blogging wins in my life just changed my life forever. And I was like, now this is what I want to do.
Right.
Because when you go to a place and the whole tourism board is, ensuring they want to show you the best, you have that thing that you want to come
That,
back and write for your
yeah.
people. So I said, this is my calling. And now that I've realized this is my calling, I have to work towards it.
Right.
So even
Right.
after that, I worked for 2, 3 years, just made
Okay.
a backup plan, tried to settle things,
Do
just
that.
tried to see that whether I can continue or not. So this
Right.
is what all I did. But then, yeah, so 4 years back, I took this call that, now I'm ready to quit my job and do this full time. So, yeah, I got a couple of assignments also that really helped me. And one thing that helped me last year was also that I wrote a lot of travel scripts for Saregama. So, if you know about the Karma 2.0, which
Yes.
says, so which has lot of travel podcasts there.
Right.
Around 50 scripts have been written by me,
Wow.
which
That's
are told by
amazing.
RJ Abhimanyu. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, we have a question coming from Neha that are you a full-time
Okay.
blogger or do you work? Yeah. So do you work, Manju, or you are a full-time blogger?
I used to work, but now I'm full time. I wouldn't say full time blogger. I'm a freelance writer because I write for newspapers and magazines also.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do writing assignments
Okay. That's pretty interesting.
because I wouldn't say that blogging is a full time career as yet. You really need to have your ground in somewhere in writing. You need to have assignments because just blogging will not pay you.
Right. So, Manjulika, tell us more about your Vijayawada experience, your unexplored places,
Yeah.
explored places, and what is that you have in store for us?
So basically, when I came to Vijayawada, like I had only been to Visakhapatnam before about Andhra Pradesh, like in
Okay.
Andhra Pradesh. I didn't know much about Andhra Pradesh because obviously how it is like when you are in North India, you just
Yeah,
feel okay, South India is just a holiday for you. It's
absolutely.
not like that you actually, and
Yeah.
it's not actually South, but yeah, it's like Eastern,
Eastern,
Southeastern
yeah.
coast, yeah. So when I had come to Vishakhapatnam, I had loved the beaches because
Okay.
Vizag has some amazing beaches.
Yes.
But when we got a chance to come to Vijayawada, definitely it was something new. And we all know about Krishna River, and
Right.
we have all heard about Godavari, East Godavari area, the West Godavari area. So east, like Krishna Godavari. In fact, Krishna Godavari used to be my house names also. In school,
Oh,
like
oh,
one of the house's name was Krishna Godavari. Who knew that I'm going to come and live,
live
in the
right
city
there.
where River Krishna flows.
True.
Yeah, so it's just 5 kilometers from my house where I'm presently, where River Krishna flows. Yeah, so it's
Wow.
just in the main city. Main city, people just get to see it
Wow.
like whenever you are through.
That sounds
Yeah.
so dreamy and unrealistic.
So the city, I wouldn't say it's it's not a touristy place as
Right.
such. Like I wouldn't say that you need to get your tickets done and come to Vijayawada. But yeah, when you are in Andhra, you should
Right.
definitely explore the city for a day or two.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how it is, because if you will ask the people here, like when I came and I kept asking people, what is there to see, what all I can see. So, usually people will say, oh, there's a temple, or you can, so there's a temple, very important temple here, which is
Okay.
called Kanak Durga Temple.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's very famous. During Navratris is one of the most popular places to come here. Like there is massive crowd. The government has to make arrangements to fetch people in buses, and actually arrangements are made for the queue. Like the footfall is in thousands, and sometimes it crosses lakhs.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's pretty interesting.
it's perched. Yeah, it's perched on a hill. It's perched
Oh,
on a hill. I might be able to show you a picture, but I can only show on my laptop. So
sure.
it's a very beautiful hill. See.
Oh, yeah. It looks very beautiful.
Yeah. It's a very lovely. I mean, the completely South Indian style that you
Yeah.
have, and so this is
Oh,
the view,
okay.
one of the opposite side of the temple.
Temple. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you. There's some things about the temple which we also didn't know, that it is so popular. Like there's a lot of stories about here that they say that the demon had actually come here and Durga
Okay.
killed, yeah, the demon, and then the people or the Lord Shiva told her that you must stay here. So that's why Kanak Durga, she said, okay, I'm going to stay here.
Oh,
That's
okay.
and people
That's
believe a lot here, yeah, because there are a lot of temples here, and the I have seen one thing that we have noticed here, that people believe in offering flowers, or
okay.
every day, even like around my house, if I take a walk, every second day the rangoli changes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, people
People
make. So
believe in.
even during COVID now, when people were under lockdown, people not going, but I could see art. People used to
Oh,
come out of their houses, they used to make art, a little bit of rangoli, and then go back, because rangoli is considered very auspicious,
yes.
in the
Yeah.
sense that for New Year they will make a rangoli, or for Diwali they'll make a rangoli, or for the Makar Sankranti, like Pongal is very important
Yeah.
here. So yeah, so I have seen rangolis change here every day. Like you don't see it in North India, anybody making a rangoli,
Yeah. I
but
think
here every house has a rangoli.
it happens for us only on Diwali days, and that too, like,
Yeah,
just on very important days.
yeah,
So,
yeah. But here, people make beautiful rangolis every day. Like just
wow.
outside my house, I'll find a rangoli. Or sometimes I mean, not this time. I mean, I don't advise even a walk. But initially, when I used to come, and on the days I used to go out and take a night walk after dinner, there
Right.
used to be some different design outside every house.
Wow. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just imagining it, that how colorful it would be. Just to come
Yeah,
to
at times
this
it is.
house like this.
I came after New Year, and every house had rangoli. Like I came on 31st night here,
Right.
and the only way people celebrated New Year was with a rangoli and a cake.
Wow. Cake.
Cake. Every house has a
Okay.
cake, and everybody's exchanging with their neighbors.
Wow. I mean, cake is very surprising because
Cake
that's
is
more
very
like
surprising, yeah.
Indian culture.
Even we felt that, but right from the airport to my house, to the service apartment, all the shops were lit, and the only thing we could say, there were special cakes.
Okay.
Everybody was buying cakes, and that was the ritual. At 12 o'clock in the night, people cut their cake and they share among their neighbors.
Okay. So is there also a
And
background
yeah,
story to this, or is there a history to it that why cave?
I tried finding out, but I didn't actually get. You know what? I think it's just that a few big people are very, I think very fond of eating here, and I think they
Okay.
like sweets also. Maybe cake because just after Christmas you have New Year, so I
Yes.
think that ritual continued. So
Okay.
maybe I need to find more. Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
that's like this.
So what are the local attractions in Vijayawada? Like must-see
Yeah,
places?
must see. First thing is the temple,
Okay.
Kanak Durga, because it's just opposite the Krishna River. So you go through the. So
Right.
on Krishna River, you have a Prakasham barrage. That
Okay.
barrage is very nice and it's very beautifully lit. In fact, when the last CM was there, it used to shine in tricolors in the night.
Wow.
So yeah,
And that
so
too
that
every
barrage has a
day.
very
It would be
yeah
every day
every
now?
day.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So what happens that barrage, it's very important for this place and around because it has helped the agriculture a lot.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
very sturdy barrage. It's very beautiful and it's very sturdy. Like it's
Okay.
beautifully lit. I think I have a picture which I might be able to show you. But yeah, like one thing that you get to see. I'll show you one other picture.
Sure.
See, this is the picture of the temple. That how high
Okay.
it is located
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
And this is like 7 floors, and then you reach like for people who need a lift.
Sure.
It's that ways, and maybe I can show you. So this is the barrage.
Okay. Yeah. Little closer to
Not
the
very.
laptop. Yeah, I think then I will be able to. Little down. I don't think we can see it. Oh yeah, now wow, this looks massive and beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. In the night, it's a evening
Yeah.
shot.
Wow.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's very. It's on the Krishna River. So this is like. So this is one attraction. Like not generally that you would go, but yeah, if you here, then you must go and see that what are the things that. And this has a good contribution in the state to make it agriculturally independent.
Okay. Okay.
And then there is the Gandhi Hill here. So that's one of the highest, because there are hillocks here. It's
Right.
not like it's not a hill station. It's a very hot weather place. Like it
Okay.
gets really hot here.
Yeah.
But these
Yeah.
hills, they play a very good role in keeping the landscape very beautiful. So
Okay.
there's one hill called Gandhi Hill, which is
Okay.
a attraction here. People do go out and spend. Yeah, there's a small toy train that runs there. So you get
Oh.
a whole, yeah, so you get a whole 360-degree view kind of place of Vijayawada city.
Yeah.
So that's something about Vijayawada that I would say it's here.
Okay.
And then 10, 12 kilometers away, you have there's a very beautiful rock cut caves called Undavali Caves.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So those caves are very beautiful, and one thing about those caves is that they are incomplete.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so they didn't get completed. So people and the structures there suggest that it could have been related to Hinduism, it could have been related to Jainism, or it could have been related to Buddhism.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, because you have a lot of goddesses from Hindu, then you have the layers, the levels of the caves are something like it feels that it was made for the monks to rest.
Yeah.
For some people say that it was for the for the Buddhists that they could come. So we don't know, but the
Okay.
caves are beautiful.
Okay.
So
So,
that's one place that people go. The locals go a lot. Even I went and I spent like I had good 3 hours to spend there.
oh, okay. So that must be quite
Yeah,
beautiful and very, very
yeah. It's beautiful. You can see the 3 levels. You can go
sure.
on top. You can see inside also. There's a lot
Oh,
of good
okay.
structures. There's saints there. Some
Oh,
sculptures of stone saints are made there. So that way it's like interesting. And then you have Kundavali Fort, which is 20 kilometers from here, from the city. It's just on the periphery of the city.
okay.
So this fort was also, it was one of the forts made by the Reddy dynasty. So
Okay.
Reddy dynasty didn't rule for long, but
Right.
and this fort kept changing, hands among many like lot
Sure.
of other rulers also came. But then this fort is placed at a very vantage point. So
Okay.
that makes it very beautiful. Like it's all
Sure.
green all around, and then there's just a fort. So until you are just 5 minutes close to the fort, you will not even be able to see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's not huge now because a lot of it has been lost and it's all like, it's gone. So you just get to see the remains there. And now they're trying to convert it into a museum. So
Oh,
we did get to see like 10 to 12 rooms of the museum, and we went on top of it and we saw the structures, how they were,
okay.
and how the jails and all were there, because the fort had those areas also where
Right.
where they kept the prisoners and all. But yeah, I mean, lot has been lost there.
Lost.
Like it could have been very beautiful when
Yeah.
we actually went there. Not many people go there. I think it's a little inaccessible. But if you have your own
Sure.
vehicle, then you
Then
can
you
go
can.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like one place that I would really recommend. And then on the way back from the fort, you can check out that whole Kundavali area, because Kundavali toys are very famous.
Yes,
So
yes.
they are the wooden toys, yeah, which are made and they are exported out of the world,
Oh,
out of India. They are circulated all around the world because the artisans. I went to the artisans' shops
sure.
and
Okay.
their homes, houses. So
Wow.
it's very interesting to see that they have nothing in their house except the wooden toys.
Toys. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So they must
yeah. So it was very.
around
I didn't get
colors and toys. Yeah.
color. It's like a color burst. When you enter that small street, it's like color burst. Like it's beautiful. Everyone is doing something, chiseling, making things, and the shops are all full of toys. You just don't want to come back without buying anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm
because
very
it
sure.
it makes you feel proud also, and then also at one place you feel that nobody is taking care of them, like nobody's bothered in India.
Right.
But yeah, when they claim that they have a lot of orders from international
Right.
countries, and so it feels good that at least they are happy,
Yeah.
they are making something. But yeah, a lot has to be done for these artisans.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think they sell their products on Amazon and other things, so it's good.
Yeah. I think with the new technology and the world going digital, I think these artisans have genuinely got a good platform now to kind of
Yes,
showcase
yes.
the work, especially. And India has a lots to show and lots to
Lots
sell.
to offer.
Uh,
Seriously, lots to offer.
yeah, I think there are so many things which probably you and me also would not know about a particular place where they are
Totally,
kind of selling such beautiful and these are all the good part is these are all handmade. So
yeah, completely handmade and so natural. Like these are wooden, and wooden toys are any day
yeah,
better than these plastic toys, because kids usually put them in their mouth, because young. But wood is not harmful because they use natural colors here. So
right,
when I understood the process, I could easily make out that why it is expensive, because so much is going into it. The natural processes. Hey Tanesh, how are you? Thanks for joining. So yeah, so it's that ways that it's happening, but still a lot of things. We need a lot of exposure for these artisans. A
absolutely,
lot of exposure.
yeah.
Like when I was here, so now that I told you just the immediate neighborhood, now
Right.
if you talk about 50 kilometers more, there is so much more.
Yeah, I'm
Like
sure
one,
that
I
you're
just
wondering that
so
this
I just had to do 2 days road trip.
oh, okay, so yeah, that's
I
quite
did,
a lot to kind of
yeah. So
cover about a place.
yeah, so what is the only issue here is that you don't have a very good transport system. Like, obviously, you don't have the metro, or you don't have, like uh, access to other ways of moving around. So, either you need your own vehicle or you can take a rented car.
Right, right.
So
Okay.
that's how I had to do it. But then, yeah, if you are sure that you want to see some very interesting things, so there's lots around. Like
Yeah.
I just had to plan my 2 days, and they were beautiful. Like I got introduced to some 7, 8 things that I wouldn't have known if I hadn't done that. And
Right.
when I asked the locals, for them, it's just an everyday thing.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
there's
it's an
no
everyday thing.
excitement. Yeah.
Yeah, so like when you ask them, where do you get the Mangalgiri sarees? So they will be like, I mean, they'll be like anywhere in the shop, but they
Yeah.
will not understand what's my interest. Or
Right.
when you will ask them, okay, I want to see Kuchipudi village, so they will like you can see the Kuchipudi dance anywhere. Why do you want to go there?
Oh, there. Yeah, yeah. Because for
Yeah,
them it's
but
like a normal thing. It's not easy.
yeah, totally. But Andhra has 15 GI indications.
Oh,
15 things are made in this state, and it's just made here. Like, so even I couldn't cover all. So I went to like 5, 6 places to just
sure.
find out how things are done. So first was it's just 30 kilometers away, Mangalgiri.
Yeah.
It's a town, and it's Mangalgiri. It's named after its temples. So
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
a town of temples. They're beautiful temples. Like I
Okay.
visited 2 or 3 temples also. And then the best part is that now the whole thing lies that how do you find the weavers? So
Right.
you actually have to ask the locals, where can I go and find the locals? So
Right.
thankfully people will direct you. And then if you tell them you want to buy the Mangalgiri sari, so then they will tell you the market. So you can
Okay.
go there. And it's a different cotton actually, the
Yeah. Yeah.
Mangalgiri cotton, which is produced there only. So then you go and check out the weavers colony. So I then went to a weavers colony also. And
Wow.
then I actually met the ladies while they were making a sari.
Oh, okay. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
pretty
creates a bit of
interesting. Yeah.
excitement and to just kind of see when, something is made in front of you.
Yes, yes, that was like very interesting to see how sarees are made. I'll show you another picture. Can you see this picture?
Yes, you'll have to just put the phone a little down so that you all can see. Yeah,
Is it visible?
yeah, yeah, it's visible.
See, this is the Undavali cave. Look at these
Wow.
structures.
Yeah, they look very, very beautiful.
Yeah, so this is like we didn't know that whether they are the Jain saints or whether they are the
Right.
They say this is disconnected to Jainism.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes, yeah, so that's why this is the cave, and I will try to show you. Yeah, so see if you can see. So this is the video of
Yeah.
the lady. Sorry,
Oh, yes, can see it. Wow.
Mangalgiri cotton sarees. So this
I'm
is
sure.
how I got lucky with the weavers and saw
Okay.
them making this sari.
Yeah.
And then from Mangalgiri, then we took a route and then we went to Amravati because Amravati is also one place
Yes.
which
Yeah.
is like, I mean the capital to be capital of Andhra. There's a lot of discussion going on the capital also. This is one state which has actually asked for 3 capitals.
Capital. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of discussion going on that. So Amravati is definitely one of the capitals here because no, now Hyderabad will not going to serve
Yeah.
like because
Yeah.
it's gone in Telangana. So
Right.
that's why.
Right.
So Amravati is a beautiful. I mean, now that all the developments have stopped, but that's a nice place because there's a lot of to do with Buddha there.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so yeah, you get to see that. Then from that route, when we took that from Mangalgiri to Amravati, and then we went to Kuchipudi village.
Okay. I'm very excited
Yeah,
to
we
know
went.
about this.
Yeah, Kuchipudi village. So I just wanted to know what is about that dance. Like it's got
Yeah.
so world famous and everything. So there's a dance institute where most of the people practice, and that's why it is very famous. And then you have a massive entrance gate to that small village because
Oh,
it has become world famous.
yeah.
And but it's very very pretty and just like a village. Like there's nothing changed about it just because that it has become a
Right.
world famous thing. But yeah, the people are just like that. They are just non-gallant about it. They will be very genuine, and everybody is going to tell you about the dance. And every house you will meet a dancer, and
Oh,
everybody is going to make you sit
right.
and talk to you, and then they will tell you that they have been practicing for 30 years.
Okay.
Everybody is a dancer in their house. So
Yeah.
it's a different feeling. Then
Yeah.
you have a temple also, which is a dance temple in the village.
Oh, okay.
In the
I
village,
think
yeah, in the village.
it's all about authenticity of these places.
Totally,
And I
totally,
think they should remain the way they are because otherwise we are not going to.
totally.
Yeah.
It's just that because nobody like if you come with that whole tourist kind of thing
Right.
expectation, then you might just say, oh, it's just a village. What
Right,
do I do here? I'm
right,
not even getting to see a Kuchipudi performance.
right,
But
right,
if you actually go and just try to find out what's behind that, then
right.
it's going to make an impact. Yeah. So the whole thing is about that.
Yeah, I think any travel is more about interacting with the locals because that makes your
Yes.
journey more interesting and beautiful and memorable because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
you gain something and you learn something from that place and you come.
Totally. I mean, see, now that I have been there, it's like it's a memory forever now for me.
Right,
Like I
right,
love telling them that I met a teacher who's been teaching Kuchipudi for 40 years,
right, right. Yeah.
and he actually took a class there for me to because I could see. So he called his two students.
Okay.
I come and they were like young boys. They were 6 or 7 year old boys, and they came and they danced. So it
Yeah.
was good to see that how such young kids are trained, like
True,
from that
true.
very age.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's how it is.
yeah, I think live experiences are always the best because you get
Totally, totally.
most authentic experience of of the place of anything that what we want to kind of
Of
do.
anything.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so while I was in that village and then Kuchipudi town, so then there the dance. So I asked that I told him I'm going to Machilipatnam. So
Okay.
Machilipatnam is a lovely beach here
Oh,
on the
okay.
eastern coast. Yeah, it's a beach. So it's like 70 kilometers from Vijayawada. 70.
Okay.
So it's like I said I'm going there after meeting you, and so he told me, okay, why are you going there? So I said I've heard a lot about Kalamkari there, and
Yeah.
I also want to see the black soil because Machilipatnam
Right.
has black soil.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went. So I said, yeah, I have heard about Kalamkari. So he told me, why are you going to Machilipatnam? Go to Pedna first. So I
Okay.
said, now another interesting thing has come up. So I asked him, what is Pedna? So he told me that Pedna is basically that village just 10 kilometers before Machilipatnam. There are
Okay.
actually a lot of Kalamkari weavers. Like the whole village is about Kalamkari
Okay.
artists.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, now I will go there. So he actually gave me an address of Kalamkari Museum.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So that Kalamkari Museum is not a government owned museum, but it is owned by a very veteran artist there.
Okay.
And he has made his house, the top
Uh,
floor of his house, into the museum.
museum.
And that's where he actually teaches. And that's his way of preserving everything about the art so
Okay.
that people understand the difference between the chemical colors and the natural and
Oh,
the way how the printing
the
takes
whole thing.
place or how the blocks are prepared and everything. So I went there because I went to Kuchipudi, I got to
Yeah.
learn about another thing, and then obviously I did the Pedna thing. I learned about Kalamkari, and then I went to Machilipatnam,
Sure.
the beach.
Yeah, yeah. So now
There's
that
another interesting thing. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I forgot. I must mention. Sorry to interrupt. So
no,
the national flag of India was designed in Andhra Pradesh.
oh wow, that's a very
Yeah,
interesting thing to know.
yeah, yeah. So that national flag of India was designed by a person, and Bhatla Peluru is a village here,
Okay,
and this Pinali, this guy was I'll just tell you the name. So it's very interesting. I went to his house actually. So no,
oh
Pingali Venkaya.
wow,
Pingali Venkaya, if you look on Google, is the person who designed our Indian flag, and his village is called Bhatla Pennu Maru. It's in the
okay,
Krishna district.
okay,
So I really had to ask people where it is. Like my driver also didn't know how to navigate, but somehow we reached that village, and there is just a small guest house made
okay,
of that place where this designer, and there is a statue of him
oh
standing with the Indian flag.
wow, that must
And
be
if
kind
you
of
find,
almost pride.
yeah, yeah, that was, and it just felt so surreal because nobody talks about that who designed it.
Yeah, actually. So this is
But
something
there
very
was one caretaker, and
yeah,
but Hindu newspaper has covered it. If you look about it, Hindu newspaper has covered it very well. And the most interesting part was that there is a caretaker who is like 65 years old man, and he was so excited to know that a writer has come and she wants to
yeah,
find about Bengali, and he actually he just pays a lot of respect to this guy, and he has kept he has kept every article of his which appears in newspapers. He
Yeah.
has kept the cuttings.
That's so
He
nice.
actually took me, yeah, he took me to his place and he showed me everything. And he was like, I am so happy that somebody has come to this village to see something, and I
Yeah.
don't understand why people don't talk about this place. So his two sons are well placed in cities, but
Oh,
he has actually dedicated his life to take care of Mr. Pingali's creations and just be there. He just guides people that what this man did, that he
that's good.
designed our Indian flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So it was a very interesting journey.
yeah, I'm sure it sounds only very interesting. Like you have everything, historic, patriotic moments, and
Patriotic moments.
now that we've traveled so much, we are really hungry. So we need to talk about the Andhra cuisine.
Food.
That, because travel and food has to go hand in hand, and you can't just
Totally.
survive without the local cuisine. So tell us more about the Andhra food.
Yes, Misfit Wanderers, Pingali Venkaya is the person, and that now he's no more, but I actually went to his village. Yeah, there is a statue of this person, and I clicked pictures also.
Wow.
It was very interesting to see, and that whole journey is a little bit. It's very beautiful area. So if you take a picture of that place and put it, so nobody will know that you are in a village. It's so beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah, the food. Oh, so the Andhra food has been quite a, it's quite a subject because I have been trying to study in
okay.
the way that I have been discovering almost every day. Like
I'm
when I
sure.
came here, yeah, so like we are in North India, North Indians, and how we love our chapatis, and
Absolutely.
it's quite a staple thing. So first thing that my husband started complaining the very first month was that he was not getting enough chapatis because
Oh,
this
okay.
place is a massive rice
Rice.
eater.
Yeah, yeah.
They only and only love rice. There is no concept of chapatis in their thali.
Oh,
If you
okay.
order a whole thali, which is very delicious and which is actually um, full of lot of delicacies, but
Right.
it has no chapati.
Oh my God. I'm sure
Yeah,
it's gonna be all about the rice items. Everything.
totally. It's not about rice items. It's like rice. You have a continuous flow of rice coming.
Okay.
There'll be 10 items, there'll be 10 vegetables, there will be a lot of things in Andhra cuisine, but there's going to be surplus of rice. You
Oh,
eat it with rice. Like
okay.
people here, like our friends, a couple that we have, a few that we have got to know of them, for them, it's like take rice, take some pickle,
Okay.
and they are done.
Okay. That's like
Yeah, so,
just an
yeah,
empty lunch or dinner,
yeah,
whatever.
yes. Yeah, and that's going to be their soul food, comfort food.
God. And what do they
So
have?
we were amazed to see.
What's like breakfast for them, right?
So obviously
Okay.
dosa, this
Those
has
are.
to be. Or there is something called paserettu, which is also an interesting dosa made of moong dal.
Okay.
Or so obviously idlis, or they will have like evening snack is Mysuru bhaji. So
Oh,
that's also made of yeah. So
rice.
some people use rice flour also, but otherwise not necessarily rice flour. But there is no concept of paratha or roti here.
Okay.
So you need to be prepared. Like you might get when you order, but
Yeah.
nobody is going to come and ask you, are you missing roti here? Because they know you got to do with rice.
Yeah, I'm sure.
you, if like I'm quite a rice lover, so I don't complain. Like I love
Yeah,
this
but then
place.
I think every day to eat rice would be like a challenge because
People
chapati.
people can eat rice all 3 meals here.
Yeah, that's exactly the reason why I asked you breakfast because there are
Yeah, yeah.
people who can kind of survive on that. So,
Yeah, yeah, people love rice here. So that was my first observation. Then comes the pickles and chutneys here. So this place
okay.
is very fond of pickles and chutneys,
Yeah.
like a lot of varieties of chutneys. If you get dosa in the morning or somebody like a normal house also, they're going to make at least 3 varieties of chutneys for themselves also.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
there are restaurants named after them, like chutneys or the idli, Babai idli. If you Google it, it's famous just for its kind of idlis that they make. Like
Okay.
they'll make 20 kinds of idlis also.
Okay. I
because
also
the Guntur
that the food is very spicy here.
very the gun. That's what I'm telling the Guntur powder, the Guntur chili.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
a whole chili market here, and that Guntur chili is very very famous here. Like
Oh,
that's
okay.
what I said, pickle. That's why they like because it has a lot of red chili in it.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, chili. They have nothing to do with green chili. It has to be red
Red. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
really fiery food. Really fiery food. So the
Okay.
curries are amazing, very delicious, and yeah, they have a lot of good amount of chili. So you should be prepared to eat that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of use of coconut also here. So grated
Okay.
coconut is used. Yeah, like the grated coconut chutney or the peanut chutney is a very very common thing in the morning. It will go with idli also. It will go with dosa also.
Right.
It's
Right.
that ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thali that I was talking about to you,
Yeah.
like that meal. So it's gonna be like it will have 4 5 vegetables, and then it's gonna have dal, which is dal is called pappu here.
Okay. Pappu.
Yes, pappu. So when you go to a local dhaba or a restaurant, you don't have dhabas here, but when you actually go to a very small, authentic place, so everybody is going to ask pappu. Now I was really wondering now what is this pappu, and then you get to know
Ah,
that it's like when you say when there's more water content in dal,
right.
it's
Right.
more liquid kind of dal, so
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
call it pappu here.
Okay. Okay. That's
Yeah,
like
so
a good thing to know because you should not get
good
shocked
thing.
when next time, like
Yeah,
you go and somebody says, "Okay, get Pappu."
yeah, so that's how it is. Yeah, the rasam is very good. Yeah, true. That's been mentioned. Yes,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very nice. The sambar is little different here, not the usually that you get in Kerala, but obviously all the states have a different way of preparing sambar. We know it. The fish curries here are very nice. The mutton curries, like for the non-vegetarians, the mutton is very famous here.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah, last Eid also I was here, so like it's like every other restaurant will have halim. And the most important thing is Andhra biryani. People going they sleep, eat, and they talk biryani here.
Funny. Okay. Okay.
It's only biryani. It's like it's a delicacy. It's a staple food. It's a street food. It's everything.
Okay. That's
Like
interesting.
even if you go for a Chinese restaurant, you'll be surprised when you look in the menu. They will have
Yeah.
20 varieties of biryani.
Oh, okay.
So
So,
no restaurant can survive without serving biryanis here.
okay. And I'm sure that must be like a very authentic taste because I think biryani is a Andhra speciality. Like they have
Yeah, so Hyderabad, yeah. It's because of Hyderabad,
yeah,
thanks to Hyderabad biryani that it got famous. But Andhra has its own way also of
yeah,
making it. Like,
yeah,
yeah, so you can make the difference. Like if they say this biryani or that biryani, so you might want to taste what is so different about it, and it you're going
yeah,
to find that. And other thing is curd rice.
yeah,
As you know, it's an Andhra thing. Yeah, so
yeah.
curd rice is also quite famous here. So
Okay,
all meals end like that. If you
okay,
are eating a thali, there has to be a way of eating. It's not that you eat your curd rice in the starting and then you sit. So no,
yeah,
you
yeah.
got to eat your curd rice at the end. That's how you finish your meal.
Okay. So I think, Manjulika, we have a timer for Insta Live, and I think we are just about to get over. Because
Oh,
I'm getting
then
a
we've been
reminder.
talking for long.
Yeah, I'm getting a reminder here. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm
Lovely
sure we are going
talking
to
to you.
connect more with you, and we loved knowing all the details. So thank you.